Hey everyone. Okay, so I'm excited to be on here. Like Tracy said, we got to meet in Phoenix at Jules School, and she was such an encouragement to me while we were there. She offered tips and she told me a little bit about her story, and all of that was encouraging. So today, and if y'all have questions, like just unmute yourself and ask. But today, I just kind of wanted to jump on and share first my story, like how I got started with Plexus and my journey over the 9 years and kind of like where I see myself and my team headed in the future. So I joined Plexus 9 years ago. We actually started, it'll be 10 years that we started ordering products in October. And so we started at that time just as a VIP customer, and I was only ordering two products, and I was ordering them for my husband. I'm a nurse, and I was like, I don't need supplements. Like, I can just make do without them. But he was having a lot of gut issues, and he actually had told me that he wanted to make an appointment with a GI doctor. And even though I was a nurse, like I was like, no, I can fix you. Like, we don't need a GI doctor. And so off I went to try and fix him by just getting over the counter probiotics at the grocery store and at the health food stores. And he kept telling me, Bridget, this is not working. Like, and honestly, he was just having like IBS type issues, dairy intolerance types issues, things like that. And so he was like, I'm done like with your little tactics. And I said, well, one more thing. Like, I had this friend that I didn't really know very well. Actually, if you see Bethany on here, she is my older sister. And they had met some people out in California when they travel nursed right after they got married. Her husband went and travel nursed to California, and they had met some people. And I met her one time. Like I flew out there, met her at church one Sunday. But she, of course, back then you just friended everyone on Facebook, and she kept posting about this probiotic, right? That really worked. And she was a homeschool mama of four at the time. And I was like, well, let's just try it. I mean, it's like a network marketing company. It's probably not going to work. You know, those ads that you click and the stuff never works. Probably won't work. But she told me that it had a 60-day money back guarantee. So, and she convinced me to try the bio cleanse with the probiotic. She was like, they kind of go in hand with one another. So I was like, okay, we'll do it. I'll get my money back in 60 days. It won't work. I immediately turned off my subscription. And Chris used it. He is someone that is super consistent with whatever he does, unlike yours truly. Okay. And so he was super consistent with it, but I had turned off the subscription. So after 30 days, he was done. And he was like, how do I get more? I was like, oh, well, we have to order it. It's going to take, like 5 to 7 days. He's like, why did you do this? Like, I can't run out of this product. It's actually working. So he continued to use it. And I was kind of like, still skeptical, but he was convinced. But she kept posting about this paint drink. And so I was convinced that this paint drink may actually help me because if the probiotic helped him, like maybe the paint drink would help me be a better mom. Honestly, I was working all the PRN shifts that I could get, which meant night shift because I had four boys under the age of 6. And so I was momming from the couch. Honestly, I was like letting them wake me up in the morning. And at night, after they went to bed, I was ravaging the pantry and the fridge for cookie dough. I don't know, like if any of y'all, like my husband cannot believe that I eat raw cookie dough and cake batter and brownie batter, but that was me. I had all kinds of cravings like that, and I was exhausted. And honestly, I was short-tempered as a mom, because of just all the hormones and everything going crazy. And so I was like, I have my Christmas money. I want to order the pink drink, but I'm just telling you right now that I'm probably never going to order it again because I can't afford it. And so I ordered the pink drink in January while we were at Disney World, where we had skipped and saved all the money to go. I ordered the pink drink and I started using it in February. Well, she texted me one night and she said, look, I know that you can't afford these products all the time, right? Because we were on a one salary. I was working all the shifts that I could to get the extra money. She said, but let me just send you this video of a nurse friend of mine. Well, it ended up being a video of Sarah Marble, her diamond documentary. You guys, she did not mention the business to me. All she said was, check out this video because you have a referral link that you could share. And that was it. That's all she said. She sent the video. I watched it and I was like, you know what? Like, this is amazing. Now, take it. I had only drank the pink drink. That's the only thing that I drank for a week. And so I kind of looked at it and I was like, this lady like quit her nursing job. She's come home, she's making an income, and she has three boys. Like, I have boys, like, we needed extra, right? My husband, 2 weeks earlier, like in January, had just signed a commitment pledge at our church to give so much money a month to our business building, to our building program. And I had looked at him and I was like, Chris, like, we don't have this to give every single month. And he's like, well, the God's going to provide. Like, we'll get it done. By the end of the year, we'll figure it out. And so I'm like a budget girl, and I was like, I do not know how this is going to happen. Like, I'm already working extra shifts. He was working extra on the weekend as a videographer. And so I watched that video. And then, you guys, I did the most nerdy thing ever. I went and found the compensation plan. And I was like, oh my goodness, like this is so possible. Like we could do our building commitment with this. Plus, like we could go further than that. That would be amazing. I woke my husband up. This was like midnight. I'm sitting in bed. I woke him up and I was like, Chris, like I think I can do this. And he was like, yeah, you can do it. That's all he said. He rolled over and went back to bed. And that's how my business started with Plexus, you guys. So I had, like I said, I'd only drank the pink drink. I immediately text Nicole, my friend, and I said, okay, tell me what I need to do. And she said, well, why don't you try ordering the triplex back then, which is now the gut health combo, and let's get on a call with my sponsor and we'll tell you what you need to do. And when I got on the call with that sponsor 3 days later, her and her sponsor, I thought, what in the world have I done? Like, I do not want to be on this phone call. I have gotten sucked into some kind of like crazy scheme. And they made me feel completely at home. And they were like, here's your link. Just share it with your mom, your friends, and see what happens. You know, help them get started with what you and your husband have seen. So I started the triplets. I immediately saw results with my IBS symptoms that I personally had that I just shoved off as a nervous stomach and eating the wrong foods, right? And so I started seeing results. I started sharing on Facebook. I shared first with my mom and my dad. My mom ordered, then I shared with my sister. I shared with my sister-in-law and a coworker, and I went silver within a month's time. And when that first bonus hit, I was like, wow, like we are going places, right? And my friend also told me about this trip to Orlando that I could earn. And my husband and I had not been away on a trip since our honeymoon. And so I was like, I can do this. Like I can earn the money and I can earn trips. And you guys, that was the beginning of it. It's just me saying, like, honestly, it was my sister saying, I'll be honest. She told me, she was like, Bridgette, don't be scared. Just go share with these people. I'm never going to share. She had done network marketing before. I had never done it. And she said, it's just like when I shared about the makeup and about, you know, different things like that. Just go share and you'll find people that want to order. And so, well, come October, when I went to Orlando for 4 nights on Plexus's dime, she looked at me and said, okay, tell me how I can earn a trip. And so there we go. Now my mom was also ordering from me, and she is a pastor's wife. They've always my dad's always been in the ministry, and if you've been in any type of ministry work, you know that budgets are tight. The churches that we were at were always very small. And so the budget was always tight. So I knew when she started ordering, like I was going to have to help her get her products paid for. And so my goal was not only to advance my own level ones, but to help my sister and my mom get their products paid for. And I feel like that's huge. You know, it's not just you building your own organization, but it's actually spreading out like the starburst effect that we see so many times. And so I was able to help my mom go gold. I was able to help Bethany. She took off, you guys, and she didn't have a builder under her until she hit senior gold. Like that's how long it took her to find a builder. She was just determined to keep sharing and add level ones. And so that's where I started. I went from gold to senior gold to ruby to senior ruby. I hit senior ruby and I thought, wow, we are going, right? I've been with Plexus for 3 years and I hit senior ruby and I thought this is going to be amazing. And you guys, I sat at senior ruby for 4 years. For 4 years. And I was like, this is just what it's going to be. Like, I'm just going to be senior ruby for the rest of my time with Plexus. And then I had a mind shift change, right? A leadership honestly change because I got to Senior Ruby by doing the work for a lot of people. And so I was burnt out because I was treating all my levels, level ones through sevens, as all of my customers. And it was just burning me out. And so then I just kind of stopped. And so obviously, like I was just plateaued. It didn't matter how many people we added, we just stayed right there. And so I realized like now I've got to kind of focus on building other leaders. Like people need to come alongside us and do what we're doing, right? Not just like, hey, here's all my customers, but actually like them teaching their customers and them teaching them how to share. And so that was kind of like the cap where I came to and I realized like I've got to do this to keep going. And it wasn't easy. Right, because there was a lot of times where I had to say no or I had to step away, and my personality, like I just wanted to do it, and I wanted it all done the same way. But that was what was burning me out. And so in 2024, I went to Leaders Retreat in Punta Cana and I met with Trisha Rager. I don't know if y'all know her, but I know everyone has to know Trisha, right? So she met up with me and we had been friends on Facebook, but had never really like talked one-on-one in person. And she looked at me and she said, Bridgette, she said, go build another team. She's like, you built a team to Senior Ruby. Now go build again. And I was like, okay. And you guys, that lit a fire under me. And so I started just like talking to more and more people and helping more people see the business side of it, right? I was a customer person. I was creating all of these customers, happy customers, people that I've ordered for over 9 years now, but I wasn't looking further into the future. And so I did that. And I started pushing in February and in March. And I was like, you know what? We're setting ourselves up to hit Emerald in May. And I fell short, our team fell short in May by 10 orders. And I was so disappointed. I was just like, oh, like, how did we do this? Honestly, like, my team just kind of gave up on the 31st, like at noon. And that was it. Like I never heard from anyone else after that. My mom and sister were rallying with me, but it was just us three, and we couldn't even find those 10 orders between the three of us to get there because everyone else had just kind of checked out. And so I met with Sarah Marble for the first time face to face in June at convention in 2024. And she looked at me and she said, Bridgette, you can let this like be it. Like you can say that's it. That's what happened. Like we didn't get it. She said, or you can just lean in and go for it again. She was like, failure isn't the end. And so don't fear the failure. Just keep pushing. And so that was in June at convention. And in July, I told myself I'm going to Hawaii. Right? I'm going to hit it. I'm going to hit Emerald along with my team. And I'm not going to get quiet just because they get quiet. A lot of times I let that dictate me. My chats were super quiet, right? No one was saying anything. I mean, my mom and my sister were there, but when you have family, like it's completely different. And so it was super quiet. And I told myself, I was like, I'm not going to stop here. I'm not going to let the quiet stop me. I'm going to be in my chats. I'm going to be hosting the calls. I'm going to be on my stories. I'm going to be posting. I'm going to make sure that it's a job because you guys, that's what it is. Like a lot of times we say, oh, this is just like something that I do on the side. And that's fine if you just kind of want your products paid for and just a little bit of extra here and there. But if you want to create like a legacy for your family, and I remember what Trisha told me. She said, where do you see yourself in 10 years? Like where do you want to be in 10 years? I was like, well, I want to be here. She's like, well, doing what you're doing now is not going to get you there in 10 years. And so it was a job, and I had to tell myself, like, I'm going to get up and I'm going to get this done. And then I'm going to still be the mom and have fun, but I'm going to have work hours like in the morning and in the evening, and when I can fit it in between. And so when I really started focusing on that and going all in, like I took Sundays off, but going in Monday through Saturday and really focusing on that, that's when I saw the big growth. And we were able to hit Emerald on the 28th of July. And it was such an amazing experience getting there. Now, I will not say that we've just stayed on the top and we're continuing to sell to Sapphire. That's my goal. But honestly, like it has been valleys. And I feel like that's what it is in this business. Like we're going to have valleys, we're going to go up and down, but really focusing on the basics. right? Getting back to the basics. And that's what I kind of told Tracy that I was going to share about today. It's just kind of like some things that we've done with our team that I feel like have helped to grow us and get us there. Some things that we can still perfect. But, I feel like stories are huge. And so when I talk to my team and when I talk to myself about recruitment, I try to tell myself not to just talk to people like they're prospects, right? But to actually look at everyone as a potential recruitment, meaning like a potential person that you can help and you can create a story with. It's not just someone to get the next building bonus on or the next building block, which I know we're all focusing on those building blocks right now. Like it's not just another block, right? But it's another that block right there, that first little thing is another story that you can help to create, right? And so when I really focus on that, like what is it that we can do to not only just like get these people to order, but help them have their own story and sharing our story constantly. Like this is something that I'm still not great at. I'm not sitting here saying y'all that I am like the best at doing this. I'm preaching to myself when I say all of this because I'm reminded of something Trisha said. It might have been this morning in her chat. How often did you share your business story this week? Did you share it every single day? No, I didn't. But do we need to share it every single day? Yes. Like because people don't see it, like, and they forget it. And so making sure that we're sharing our story constantly, whether that be our product story or our business story, but sharing both of those. And then making sure that we invite people, that we aren't trying to just convince them, right? But we're inviting them into this. And then not letting follow up be weird. You guys, I'm in Emerald and I sat there and stared at a message that I needed to follow up with and was like, oh, she's just that she's not going to like me messaging her again but you guys, like, it's not weird. Like, just following up with people doesn't have to be weird. Just multiple exposures and constantly reminding them. So that's kind of like the recruitment part. Like I'm trying to tell everyone on our team, like we're trying to be encouraging to each other to send those messages out and not to be weird about it. There's a good post going around about that, like Jill Renfro did, I think. So if you're friends with Jill, go look at that post. But just not being weird about it. We are network marketers, right? We are sharing and selling a product that we truly believe in. And because those products work so well, we have an opportunity also that we can share. And so that kind of goes into the duplication. So I think, yeah, I see my cousin jumped on here. So the duplication part, you guys, I'm going to use her as an example. She has no idea. I see that she's on here. She had no idea that I was going to even bring her up, but I am going to because the duplication part begins with that. She is my newest Fast Start Gold, and she used the products over 7 or 8 years ago. And that's all she did. She just used the products. She had she still has a lot of health issues. She is a true celiac, has a lot of sensitivities, and has gone through so much in her health journey. And so she quit using the products because she wasn't seeing, she was like having issues even in using those products. And so in December, I had earned leaders retreat. My husband was not going to be able to get off work to go with me. I was going to take my son, but I was like, I really hate to take my son when I have like this whole, I can, pay very little for him to go. And I have a whole nother adult that can go. And so I reached out to her because she decided to try Reset. Honestly, she probably saw me post about the reset and was like, I'll help my cousin out, right? And so she tried the reset and then she didn't order again in January. And I reached out to her and said, hey, do you want to go to Leaders Retreat with me? It's a free trip. Let's just go. We haven't seen each other in a while. Like, let's have fun. I know you're not ordering. It's not that big of a deal. And so we went to Leaders Retreat. She asked me, she said, do I have to come to like the meetings? And I was like, no, you don't have to come to the meetings. You can go sit by the pool or whatever. But she did. She came to the meetings with me, and you guys, she caught the vision because it was presented constantly in that meeting. The stories were shared, the products were shared, but the stories were shared. People got up and gave their testimonies, and she caught the vision. And so we helped her get started on the products slowly. She has a wonderful health testimony using only 3 products, Probio 5, BioCleanse, and Ease. And so she started sharing. Now, if I would have just been like, oh yeah, like just send some messages, right? And I'm sure she can tell you on here, like we text each other daily. But if I was to just be like, oh, just go make a post, then she wouldn't be here today. If I would have just said, go make your first post. And I feel like a lot of times we do that. Like we're like, oh, this is all you need to do. You just need to make a post and then anyone that likes it or comments on it, like message them and they're gonna order from you and you're gonna go silver. But that's honestly like making the post is like, honestly, I think sometimes that it's not even the best idea, right? But actually being genuine, I told her, I said, just start texting people. Just text them in your phone and tell them like what these products have done for you. Have you ever tried them before? And so she did slowly start posting. She did, but it was the connections. It was the messages that she was sending out. And honestly, it was her and me like challenging each other. Like, hey, like who are you talking to today? Like, what have you done today? Were you able, have you found a post that would relate to you? Or have you been talking to so and so? And like me going back and forth with her, because a lot of times I feel like we're just like, here's the steps, go do this. And then they don't do it. And we're like, oh, we're never going to get, like, no one's ever going to share. And so that was really big. Like, teach people what you do, but actually do it with them, right? Alongside them. Like, really invest in them and go alongside them. Don't just do it for them. I did that a lot in the beginning, and that's what really burnt me out because I was just doing it for them. People were just they weren't even starting a group message. They were just giving out my phone number. And I would have someone text me and be like, hey, someone told me that you share Plexus, like, and told me that you would help me figure out what I needed and get me started on a regimen. I was doing everything for them, right? But don't do it for them, do it with them. Bring them along with you and then celebrate their activity, not just their outcomes, right? And I think that's huge. Like, don't just celebrate, like, oh, you hit silver, that's huge, but celebrate what that means and the outcomes that come with it. I think I put some notes here because I love this. Duplication isn't just duplicating me, but it's duplicating the simple actions that helped me get there. Right. And so make sure that you're doing that with them, that you're coming along with them. That has been huge for me. And in March, I did that with 3 people, and I was able to help 3 of my level 1s get to silver. And that's been a long time since I've been able to do that. And then helping Lauren get to fast start gold. And I'm not the best. I'm not sitting here saying that I'm good at it at all. I'm saying when I commit and I do the work, then I see the results. But when I kind of back off and I'm just like, oh, no one's really answering these messages. We had a team call earlier, a work with me call. And I was telling the girls on there, I was like, I'd had a customer since 2025, February of 2025. And every other month I've texted her and said, hey, Gracie, you know that you have a link that you can share if you ever think of anyone, because she has a great health testimony. She's lost a lot of weight using the resets and the GLP-1. And so I'm always telling her, like, don't forget, you have a referral link. I know you know a lot of people and you could earn a little bit of cash, At the same time, I know that her husband's a doctor. And I'm like, I mean, she probably would never want to share these products, but I still do it. And you guys, this month, it was the first time that she shared her link and I saw it pop up like a new customer under her. And I immediately texted her and was like, Gracie, you have a new customer. You shared your link. And she wrote me back and she said, oh, it's just my mom. And I was like, yeah, but look, you're going to earn this much money. Like I calculated, I was like, you're going to get this much money off of it. And your mom's going to be able to see the same results that you saw, and she did it herself. Like I didn't even create the cart or tell her how to create the cart. But I think it was that constantly going to her every other month. I did it every other month. The months in between, I talked to her about other stuff, her loyalty rewards, the products she was using. That's something I try to do with all of my VIP customers is I message them every single month. And at least every other month, I'm presenting that link, that referral link back to them. And so just consistency in doing that. Sometimes I fall short and those months will fall off and I'm like, I didn't contact all my customers this month. And that's okay, right? But just making sure that you're consistently presenting the opportunity to them. And then when they grab onto it, you're running alongside them. Like it's you and them together. I had Jennifer, I can't think of her last name right now, out in Utah. One of the Plexus people, she used to be ours, but now we have Robin. Jennifer Thomas. So Jennifer Thomas told me I think it was last spring, right? She said, Bridgette, stop focusing on trying to create like 3 or 4 new business builders. She said, you just need one person. Like, just grab one person and help them get to gold. And when she told me that, like a few months later, I had Lauren as a fast start gold. But, not trying to like spread yourself thin, but once someone grabs onto it, run with that person, right? And help them get to gold. Gold is the big thing, like we heard this week on a call. Gold, get them to gold and help them get there. And then they're going to learn the actions and they're going to be able to teach those actions to someone else. So, Tracy, it's all you.
Gold, baby, gold. No, I think it's so helpful and honestly just a reminder for me because we are working towards those biz blocks and it's really easy to kind of get the cart ahead of the horse sometimes. I think just remembering like I've got this whole list of customers. These are my customers ordering this month. Like, what story am I telling them? Who can I send a diamond documentary to? Who do I need to remind about their referral link? Like, I'm just starting to ask myself all of these questions, and the answer is like maybe I'm making it too hard sometimes, and I get paralyzed a lot, and so this was just really helpful. Does anybody have any questions for Bridgette? Julie does.
hmm Hey, thank you so much. That was so helpful. I'm super curious, practically, how do you track who you're messaging which month? Like, do you have it on a spreadsheet? Like, this is the month that I do the referral link, or how do you manage it? Because I would love to be organized. I mean, odds are you could tell me something. I'm not going to implicate it, but I'm so curious.
Okay, so me and my sister are actually completely different. So I love doing everything on Excel and organizing things that way, while she is a paper pen person. So she might even pop in here and say what she does. But what I do is I download my genealogy at the beginning of every single month. And I know that there's easier ways to do this. I'm just saying how I do it. I download my genealogy and I only have like my level ones and then my level
Okay.
twos that I take care of.
Okay.
And so then I just sort it and I have like a mark where what I did with them every single month. So at the bottom of my Excel sheet, I have the months listed. And so I know I can go back to that other month, like I can go back to July. And if they're highlighted green, like I'll just highlight them green and I'll say what I messaged them about, like rewards or maybe I'll be honest, every 4 to 6 months, my consistent customers, I'm reimbursing them for shipping or I'm sending them some kind of a gift card every 4 to 6 months just as a thank you. Something, even if it's just a card in the mail. Like honestly, I just have like little cards and I'll just hand write them a card and say thank you so much for continuing to order. And I really think that's why I have around 45 to 50 level ones that consistently order. And I think it's just because they feel like they're cherished. I guess that's not the best word, but anyway, but that's how I kind of help take care of
Yeah,
them,
that's a
right?
good
And
one.
so I try to tell myself, oh, tell them about the rewards this month. Of course, sale months, like like today with the skincare system, I'm probably, and I don't use Project Broadcast. I know it probably make my life a lot easier. I just do so much better, just sending them a quick message like that. And honestly, I can knock it out in one day usually if I'm sending about 60 messages. And so that's just how I do it. I'm sure other people probably have better systems that they do it with, but that's how I kind of keep up with it.
I love that. Like, who do I need to send a little gift card to? Bethany, were you going to say how you do it? Because I saw your face come back.
Yeah, I'm super old school. I make a new notebook every quarter because usually we're doing some kind of contest. And so I felt like it gives me a fresh start. So this was mine from Cancun, but I didn't fill up all the pages. So I'm kind of just reusing it. And I just added tabs to it. And so I have my customers written down by hand. And I just like make a point like Bridgette throughout the month to like message them either about life. And if I see that they have or have not ordered, if they're just a constant subscription person, then I might just send them like a thank you, $10 voucher code. Not really voucher code, but if they're a subscription person, like a rebate code, like thanks for ordering, or maybe like send them something through Amazon, just so I can see them. I'll do that once a year. So I said once a month. Bridget and I both, and I got this idea from her when we do our Christmas cards. We'll put a thank you card in there specifically to our Plexus people and we highlight if you ever want to, look into sharing your link, we're your person here to support you in that. But also reach out to us throughout this year. We have a voucher code we want to gift to you. Just message us and we'll send it your way. But like I said, I'm kind of old school. I just have a book that I go through all the quarters. And I just keep up with people I talk to, customers, but then I also keep up like people who view my stories, people who like my posts, and then people who I just like, I might see somebody new pop in my news feed, and I write jot their name down because they're going to be a prospect that I'm going to reach out to, so I can get to know them. And like Bridgette said, just trying to keep up on my conversations daily, so that when I jump in the car and I only have literally 5 minutes to work, I bring this notebook with me and I don't have an excuse because I don't have somebody not to message. I'm not doom scrolling, but I'm going in there intentionally typing somebody's name in and giving them a personal message right then. So I find that notebook helpful for that reason.
I love that. Thank you, Bethany.
You're welcome.
I'm a pen and paper person also. I've tried to not do pen and paper and it doesn't work. Does anybody else have any other questions for Bridgette? Yeah. Yeah. I think my biggest takeaway, honestly, Bridgette, I think like the thing that so many of us need to hear at different points is like, whether you currently have a team and you're trying to work with them to build where you want to go, or you don't yet have that duplication, the answer is go build a biz block, go develop a new team. And I think it's the hardest thing to hear because like I literally at one point told Jennifer Thomas, like, haven't I done enough? And I was exhausted. I was not in a good mindset place, but it was just like that moment where you're burnt out and you're like, haven't I done enough? And you can feel that whether you're a senior gold with no brand ambassadors under you building or a sapphire with a team of 30. You can feel that way. And the answer is always the same. And y'all, like, they're really asking of the jewels to level up. Like, no more in this company do you arrive when you go emerald. Okay. Some of y'all don't know this. For us to earn Emerald Extravaganza next year, we have to complete 2 biz blocks in the 12-month contest and develop 2 golds and senior golds in our levels 1 through 7, and maintain Emerald 6 out of the 12 months. So we're talking a leveling, a raising of the bar all across Plexus. And I think that's one of my favorite things that Stuart is coming in and doing. I feel like he's walking into rooms and he's like, I'm sorry, did you say you wanted me to help you grow to $1 billion company? Like, we're gonna have to shift some things here. And the shifting is happening, but it's like, man, you got to sit with that. And like, I don't know how you felt, Bridgette, on the call, but I was sitting there and I was like, this small part of me wanted to be scarce and wanted to be like, dang, like this is gonna be harder. And like, man, and then there was this other side of me that's much louder, thankfully. And it was like, girl, this is where you want to go. This is where you want to grow. Like, you don't want to stop. And so a lot of the conversation is going to start shifting towards like, Kelly, you're feeling stuck. Awesome. When's the last time you created a biz block? Can you do that this month? Right? Julie, you're feeling like not that your leaders aren't working lanes here. She is working. You're feeling like you're not moving where you want to move. Awesome. Can you build a biz block this month? What would that look like? When is the last time you built a biz block? Right? I'm having to sit with that and be like, Mary Carmen, you are driving in the outer space solar system and I don't know what's happening. Sorry, I just saw your like icon and I was like, whoa, the world. But like that's going to be the conversation. And so, Bridgette, I'm so excited that you came on here and shared because our stories are actually really like similar. Our trajectory was very similar to Senior Ruby. And then that's where I feel like our journey is really like we had to learn and grow in different ways. And so I'm excited.
I'll say real quick because I don't know if everyone, anyway, a little bit about my team really fast is I felt the same way with Tracy. I'm like, okay, I've gotten here. Like I'm just going to keep going. And the reason, honestly, is because I have Bethany, Claire, Jessica, Brittany, Jordan. Yeah, I have five jewels. I was making sure I got them all under there. Brittany too, right? I have five jewels under me, you guys, and they all go through Bethany's line. So when I tell people that, and honestly, this is a little part of my story of why I let it cap me, honestly.
Mhm.
Is because when I would tell people, oh yeah, there's five emeralds, when people would find out that I have five emeralds on my team, they'd be like, oh my goodness, you're so close to diamond, aren't you? And no, I'm struggling to hit emerald every single month. And that's because my team is so deep. And I'm thankful that Plexus is set up the way that they are because it means that I've got to go out and build wide, right? I can't just rely on this to get me there. It's like Tracy said, like I've got to keep doing the work and keep duplicating what I did for this line on these other lines, right? And bringing people along to do that. Like look at those, what it's changed for those five people. Like that's all in one line. Like now let's go out and do more. So I think that's huge what you were saying, Tracy. It's just like
Yeah.
not stopping there.
Yeah, there's this kind of idea I have in my head. I was talking with somebody about this of like, I am becoming a professional network marketer. We see the Melanie Mitros, the Sarah Robbins, there's so many others out there. And they're people we think of that they're never going to stop the build. They're professional network marketers. And somewhere along the way with Plexus, it was like, Jewel is arrival. You'll arrive. And that's really what Stewart is coming in and upending, because you don't just arrive where impact continues to go. If you've got an arrival mentality, then you will start to decline. Like it just is the case. And so I feel like there's just a really shifting sands happening right now of like it kind of accepting this baton of like, I am becoming a professional network marketer. Like I am learning to be confident sharing about the opportunity. I am consistently developing new customers and new shares into this business because I'm constantly learning and growing and trying new things. And I don't ever, like, there's no arrival, like you're a diamond. Awesome. You're a 4-star diamond. Awesome. You can build to 50-star diamond if you wanted to. You could be 50-star double diamond, right? Like there's not an end cap here. Bridgette said, Sarah Marvel told me recently, blinders on, keep pursuing and working and don't stop. Create new goals, refresh and renew your why frequently. And I think that is the best advice to kind of wrap this up on, because y'all, every single person on this screen, like you can build whatever it is that you're dreaming of here. But I think sometimes we play small because we're afraid to fail or we don't know what it's going to look like going there. And Bridgette can tell you, I can tell you, Lacey can also tell you, Allie can tell you, whoever, everybody, Bethany can probably say this too. Like, we have all failed growing to Jewel. We have all achieved Jewel, maybe thinking it would be a rival and realizing it was actually like just the start of a whole new journey. And the hardest part, no matter where you are, no matter where you're at in this journey, is acknowledging that the way forward is for you to do the work. The challenge as you get off this call is, like Bridgette said, I had to go to work. I had to treat this like a job. What does that look like for you? What does that look like for you? What does that look like for you to carve out the time for this, to show up like a business owner on social media and in person? I had to realize last year that there's a whole slew of people that do not know me as a Plexus ambassador. I'd never brought that piece of me there. And that's not what I want. I don't want there to be any group that I'm in that doesn't know that I'm proud of what I do. I don't want to ever feel like I have to take off my Plexus Christmas t-shirt or my hat and set it to the side. Like, I want to confidently be partnered with this company and confidently be bringing people in to do this with me. And that literally starts with me treating this like work. And I think, Bridgette, like, you don't know this, but today and yesterday, we literally have challenged all of our leaders with customer care, with really owning their own businesses and taking this to the next level. You know, yes, we've got a customer community. Yes, we, you know, have different things, but like, what are you creating for your customers? What is their experience? Like, what community are you creating that is going to develop new shares? Because I promise you this, Cammie's not going to have a new share because of what I did, right? Like, Cammie, you're going to have a new share because of the Diamond Doc you sent, or the connection you created in your chat, or the sitting down for coffee that you did, right? And I think that that's what I hear, Bridgette, in your story and Lacey's story and so many others, is like, it's when I kind of took the reins of my own business and said, I've got to do this. I'm going to be the one who does this. Nobody else is going to make me develop, like nobody else is going to develop people for me. That's the moment that you started seeing the growth that you wanted to see. So that's the challenge, you guys. What does this look like to treat it like work? To treat it like I'm becoming a professional network marketer. What does that look like? What does that change in your day to day? And how do you show up differently? And also, y'all, I was really convicted of this. I'm going to start working on Saturdays. Sunday is going to be my off day. I had gotten to this place where I was like, weekends are mine. And if I'm being honest, every season that I've grown in, Saturdays were the biggest chunk of my work happened on Saturdays. The biggest. So be challenged however you need to be challenged with that. But that was a huge challenge to me. So Bridgette, thank you. You said, yes, I need to build more and share more with confidence in myself. So you can be challenged by yourself, girl. I'm so excited. Thank y'all for being on Rising Leaders. Bridgette, thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate you so much. All right, bye guys.